Next, we're going to go into our 3 E's of post-secondary education. The first E we're going to start with is enrollment in a university, and we'll bring up Mr. Charlie Harrington. We're so excited to have him here, and he's from Get to College. You're on.
Thank you, Miss Hadley. That's fine. I'll just kind of click through it a little bit. So what I want y'all to do is pull up on your phone, if you will, our Get to College website, because I'm going to mainly spend my time, which is going to be the next 10-15 minutes, kind of going through our website and some of our resources. Also want to say that your counselors have done a great job. A lot of what I would normally talk about has been covered with everything they've talked about already. So, a wonderful job by your counselors. I'm also a Tupelo alum, so it's great to be back. Students, cover your ears. It was 2006, so it's been a minute. Also, I was told this is being recorded. The last time I was recorded on this stage, I fell in that back corner back there. So, that was a really great time. I'm still cool though. Everything's fun. All right. So Get to College is a statewide program. We are an initiative of the Woodward Hines Education Foundation. And so we have 3 centers across the state of Mississippi. My center is the closest location to you guys. We are in DeSoto County in South Haven. We also have a Jackson location if you're ever in central Mississippi, and then a Gulf Coast location, which is in Ocean Springs. So if you're ever on the beach down there in Mississippi, I don't know why you would be at the beach in Mississippi, but hey, we've got a location down there for you if you want to hang out with them as well. So what do? We are a free college planning service. So everything from admissions to ACT to financial aid. We help you plan, prepare, and find money for college. So that is one thing that we do. So I know we have a few people walking out. I want to hit a couple of scholarship websites beforehand. The Get to College website is a great resource. We do have, if you've pulled it up under students, at the top you'll just click students, and under resources, at the bottom of resources, you will see we have a scholarship search engine. You can click that. It is keyword searchable, and it defaults to the state of Mississippi. So you can find scholarships all across the state of Mississippi. You can type in Tupelo. You can type in Elvis. There's an Elvis scholarship every year where you can dress up and dance and sing and try to win a scholarship. I'm sure they have a ton of entries for that. But yeah, so that is something that you can use our website for. There is also Coca-Cola. So most of you probably know that Coca-Cola has a massive scholarship every year. It will open, actually it may be open right now. It opens in August, and you have until the end of September to complete that. But that's not why I'm sending you to their website. I'm sending you to the Coca-Cola website because they have a list of a ton of different scholarship resources at the bottom. So go to Google, type in Coca-Cola scholarships, and it will take you to their programs page where you will find lots of great scholarship resources and databases. My piece of advice, go ahead and set up a separate email specifically for this purpose. Because if you use your normal email address, you're going to start getting daily emails from all of these different scholarship websites, and it's going to drive you insane, and you're going to stop looking at them because you're tired of reading those emails. So set up a separate email that when you feel like looking at it, you can look at it, and it's specific to that scholarship search process. So the Create Foundation is also wonderful. Your counselors mentioned that. We also mentioned state aid, so the Mississippi financial aid. I wanted to talk about that just a little bit tonight. And also the FAFSA. So the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. So college can be kind of expensive. Here's the average of our schools here in the state of Mississippi. So a public 4-year institution in the state of Mississippi is going to run you about $24,000 a year. Okay? So that's a good bit of money per year. And then if you go out of state, if you're not getting out-of-state tuition covered in some way, shape, or form, go ahead and take that number and double it at least. Okay? So you're instead of 25,000, 24, 25,000, you're looking at 50,000 as your starting mark. And it goes up from there, 60, 70, 80, okay? And then you'll see we also have the community colleges in Mississippi, the average for you there as well. So we know that college is expensive, so how do we pay for it? We've already mentioned some private outside scholarships. So we've mentioned the Create Foundation. You have a website here with the high school. Not all high schools in Mississippi have a dedicated scholarship page. Use that. That is amazing. Use that. They spend a lot of time and effort getting that created for you guys. That is fantastic. Also, there's money that comes directly from the colleges themselves. We saw Ole Miss. So they start scholarshiping at a 23 on the ACT. Mississippi State starts at a 20, and everybody else is kind of right around there. So the community colleges may be a little bit lower, but if you're looking at a four-year school in the state of Mississippi, you want to have a 20 or above to really see some sort of scholarship money. 3 schools in the state of Mississippi have a program called Lucky Day. So Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Southern Miss. This is a mentorship program where if you are a Mississippi resident and you do community service, you can apply for this Lucky Day scholarship. It is need-based, so they do prefer financial need, but it's not a requirement to apply for the scholarship. But if you are selected for the Lucky Day program, you get a shot to live in Lucky Day housing, as well as have an upper-class mentor to help you get the ropes of the university. So it's a great program. Again, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Southern Miss all have that Lucky Day program. And that's an example of competitive scholarships. So you have automatic scholarships based on your ACT score, your GPA, and then you have those competitive ones where you're competing against other students. And most colleges will have lots of those opportunities as well. The FAFSA, so the free application for federal student aid. It's supposed to open October 1st, but I'm giving you an insider's tip right now. It is not opening October 1st. We already know that it's going to be delayed. So I'm giving you the insider heads up. Just wait. Somebody's going to say, oh, it's October. It's not October 1st. That's not happening. So you heard it here first. What you can do in the meantime, you can create a username and password. So the website for the FAFSA is studentaid.gov. Studentaid.gov. You need a student username and password to log into the FAFSA, and you need a parent username and password to log into the FAFSA. Unless your student is independent, which means they don't have to put a parent on their FAFSA. So why would that be? Well, a student that's independent is either 24, they're married, they have a child, or they're in a legal guardianship, they've been in the military. There's a list of things, okay? So if your student's in a legal guardianship, you don't need the guardian's information, you just need the student. So if you have questions about any of that stuff, is my student this or that, please let us know. My information will be up on the screen at the end, so you can ask me any questions. We also do virtual appointments, so you don't have to come all the way to the South Haven office to have an appointment with me. We do that virtually through Zoom, and we can sit down one-on-one and do a customized appointment with your family. Why fill out the FAFSA? So we've mentioned already there are grants. So the Pell Grant, the federal Pell Grant, is free money through the FAFSA if you qualify. It's need-based. I have a chart. I can tell you exactly how much Pell Grant your family will qualify for. So if you're interested in that, come find me and I can show you that. And then if you don't qualify for the Pell Grant, there's also student loans. I know that those are not 2 words that anybody wants to hear or anybody wants to use. However, it is increasingly more difficult to go to a 4-year institution as a middle-class family, maybe even an upper-class family, without some form of student loans. It's just really, really difficult. So we can help with that process as well. Student loans are a necessary evil. I don't like to even use the word evil, but they're a means to an end, and they're okay as long as you know how to manage that debt. And that's where we are trying to help you set your student up for success. Now, the 3 Mississippi grants that we talked about, so you have MTAG, MESG, and the HELP grant. MTAG and MESG, there's no income requirement or components in either one of those. As long as you have the requirements, you will get it. And they are super scores. So MTAG, 15, 2.5, you're going to get it. As long as you fill out the application, you're going to get it. It opens October 1st, okay? Mississippi Eminent Scholars, 29, 3.5, you will get it as long as you have those requirements. 29 super score. The HELP grant, however, so the 20 on the ACT and the 2.5, this is our need-based grant in the state of Mississippi. So you have to meet a household income requirement to get this full tuition scholarship. And that income requirement starts at $39,500. So your household income has to be at or below $39,500. If you have siblings, if your student has siblings under the age of 21, that adjusts that starting number for your family just a little bit. So just know that that can change. But 20 on the ACT, 2.5, meet the income requirement. The last one is called FAITH, and it's for foster care students. So if you know anyone who has been through the CPS system at any time after the age of 13, they get everything covered for college. And it doesn't have to be a current senior. It's anyone under the age of 25. So if you know someone who graduated 2 or 3 years ago, but they were in foster care or they went through CPS, you better be telling them about the FACE scholarship because they can go to school for free. And that's helping out our state. So I would encourage everybody to think of somebody if you can and hook them up. All right. This is just a general timeline of things. So again, you see up here, it says FAFSA, Mississippi Aid, October 1st. Go ahead and cross FAFSA off. If you're taking a picture, FAFSA does not belong there. It is going to be delayed, okay? It is going to be delayed. You need to create a username and password for your student and for your parent. Remember that. Now, why do I say do that now? Because it takes 3 days for your account to verify before you can access the FAFSA. So we do FAFSA appointments with Get to College. You can come to me virtually or in person, and I will fill the whole thing out with you. It'll take me 15 minutes, and you'll be done. And you don't have to worry about sitting at home for an hour or two going through it. But if you don't have that account created, I can't access the form. Okay? So we have to wait until your account has been verified through the Social Security Administration. So get those created, wait the 3 days, and then you're golden. Okay? So that is the FAFSA. If you have any questions, please let me know. Scholarships, kind of going throughout the school year. March 31st is the Help Grant deadline. Big deadline there. March 31st is the Help Grant deadline. Do not miss that deadline if you're eligible. MTAG, MESG, September 15th. Not this September 15th, next September 15th. Remember, it opens October 1st, so it can't be this September 15th. Okay? Lastly, I want to cover a few of our resources. I don't think that QR code works. You can scan it, but I don't think it works. Okay, so on our website, I told you if you wanted to, you can pull it up. So our student resources, we have free ACT prep classes with Get to College. Now, the full workshop is on our YouTube channel. So you can go to YouTube and you can search Get to College ACT, boom, you got the whole workshop at your disposal. We also do live versions. However, they are not in person, so they are virtual through Zoom. Not everyone loves that. I don't personally love that. I wish we still had this is recorded, I can't say that. Okay. Personally, I would love that we had an in-person version as well, but we don't. So currently it's virtual. We have the Saturday before the September test, Saturday before the December test, and then Saturday before the February test. One last thing on test information release. Ms. Hadley talked about that. You can get your test scores, and the full test answers and everything. That's a great resource. You can also do that 6 months after each of those test dates. I think July was one of those. So if you took it in July, you can get all of your answers sent to you. So if you want to use that resource and you're like, dang, it's too late. December's too late. I'm a senior. I can't really send my test scores anymore. My college doesn't accept them anymore. You can, if you took it in July, I think that's one of the test dates from this past year. So use that at your disposal. Last thing I'm going to mention is we have an Exploring Careers in Mississippi tab on the student resources. This is from ONET's database, and it is all about Mississippi careers. So you can search by career cluster. You can see how much money you'll make in each career. You can see if what you're thinking about doing is in demand, if jobs are going to be opening up. And you can see how much education each of those careers takes. If you're like, dude, Charlie, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to major in. I don't know what I want to be when I'm going to grow up. Neither do I. But I'm just kidding. I love what I do. I know exactly what I'm going to be when I grow up. I am grown up. Okay, so you can go to mynextmove.org. mynextmove.org. There is an interest profiler there. It is free. It's 60 questions, and it'll help you kind of decide through some different jobs and careers to fit you. And you can explore each of those careers on that website as well. It'll tell you some lovely information about each of those. So my email address is on the screen. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Use Get to College. We are a free resource with lots of great information for you. Thanks. Have a great night.
Next, we have Ms. Tierney Key from Itawamba Community College to give you some information on Itawamba Community College. I have to admit that Get to College ACT Prep is excellent. It worked for my personal child really well.
All All right, hello guys. My name is Tierney Key and I'm a recruiter at Etowah Community College, and I also serve as a recruiter for Tupelo High School, so you guys will kind of see me a lot this semester. Congratulations, senior year is here, so I hope you guys are excited. Just what to expect. Specifically for ICC, I always tell my students to explore majors and do research. And if you can get at least 5 to 3 colleges in mind and kind of do research, figure out what the campus environment is like. Do they offer your major? What's the graduation rate? So when you're looking for colleges, make sure you kind of look for those things in there. And then apply. They've pretty much covered everything when it comes to applying and admissions, but at ICC, one thing I do want to highlight is with housing. So you can apply for housing as early as your junior year. So I would like to encourage students, like if ICC is in your top 3 schools, definitely go on and apply for housing. It is first come, first serve. And there is a $75 housing deposit, but that is refundable if you decide not to come to ICC. So let's say you just get to your fall semester and like, oh, I got scholarship somewhere else, I'm going there, or you get like a sports scholarship somewhere else, then you can get that $75 back. FAFSA, we have a financial aid office on our Tupelo and Fulton campus, so if you need help filling it out, you can definitely stop by once it opens. Take a campus tour. So I think that is the most important thing. When you take a campus tour, you can kind of get it tailored towards you, what you're interested in. And if you're interested in something specific, we can kind of get that geared towards that. So what majors we offer at ICC? So I like to call it academic transfer route, and so this is where you can do 2 years at ICC and then you can transfer to your university of choice. So let's say you might be majoring in business or journalism, then you would take our academic transfer route. Even if you want to do if you want in the health science field, like if you want to go and be a doctor, that would also fall under our academic transfer route. Whereas with our health science, you can major in one of our 11 health science programs. Our ADN program, which is our RN program, we have 150 students that are accepted into that program, so it's kind of our popular program that we have. With all of our health science programs, you have to have prereqs to get into that program. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with prereqs, but those are just courses that you need to take before you can apply to get into the program. So most of our health science programs are at least 2 years, but I like to say it'll take 3 years to get it, because if you're not taking dual credit, if you don't have any other prereqs, then it's going to take you at least a year to get those prereqs to apply to get into the program. Our sonography program is also another popular program, so we just got that program accredited in the spring, so you no longer have to have a degree or have worked in the field to apply to get into that program. You have to have the same prereqs that you have for our other health science programs. Then we have our career education programs. So if your student is one that likes to get his hands dirty, or she likes to get her hands dirty, ready to go straight into the work field, I would definitely look into our career education programs. We have our HVAC, welding, precision machining, our Toyota program. So if your student is wanting to do that, I would definitely encourage them to look into those programs. And then something that the parents definitely want to hear about, financial aid and scholarships. So at ICC, we have it to where we have automatic and competitive scholarships. So the automatic scholarships are our institutional scholarships. They kind of talked about this as well. So it comes directly from the college. So one of them being our academic scholarship. So if you have an 18 or above on the ACT, then you're going to automatically qualify for one of our scholarships. And then how many people in here have heard of the County Guaranteed Tuition Program? Okay, we got a couple. Or my kid can go to ICC for free. So that's kind of what it's kind of true. There's just stipulations. So the way County Guaranteed Tuition Program works, it's your county. So most of you guys live in Lee County since you're in Tupelo. It's where your county will step in and cover your tuition if nothing else covers. So as I was saying, typically a full or half Pell Grant can be anywhere from $300 to $3,000. So let's say you get a full Pell Grant and you get some other scholarships where your tuition is probably going to be paid for. Or let's say you don't get a Pell Grant, because some people don't get Pell Grants. So you don't get a Pell Grant, you might get that MTAG that they mentioned, which is $250 a semester, and so you still have some money left to pay on your tuition. Well, that's when Lee County will step in and cover that tuition if you don't have any other type of scholarship. So it's literally the last thing that kicks in. Everybody, did I explain that okay? Okay, good. Then the next scholarships that we have our competitive scholarships. So we have our foundation scholarships, and this comes from our alumni and friends. So we have endowment and funds that people in the community put money into, and so really easy to apply for. Sometimes it's based off of what county you live in and what you're majoring in. So there are some specific ones that are for Lee County students. So all you have to do is go down through the list and see if you qualify for it. The next scholarships that we have are achievement and activity scholarships. So we have a lot of clubs and organizations at ICC, and we do have some that are competitive. So if you have to try out for a certain club or org, then 9 times out of 10 they offer some type of scholarship. So for one, I'm a sponsor for Indian delegation, and so we do tryouts in April, and so students go through this extensive tryout, and if they're selected, then they get a scholarship for being an Indian delegate. We also if we have any students interested in art, our art club, they do pass out so many scholarships. So if that's something you're interested in, you can find it on our website. And then athletic and performance. So if you attend ICC on an athletic scholarship, that will be considered as our competitive scholarship. And then over 80% of our students qualify for some type of aid at ICC. So what you need to know to have a successful college career and easy transition from high school, I would definitely say make sure you check your emails. So I know that can sound kind of boring, like why do I have to check my emails, but you can see a lot of information through emails, especially once you start applying to colleges and universities. Those deadlines are going to come super quick, and I know you've probably heard a lot today, but you want to make sure you know when those deadlines are, because once they've passed, that's it. Like, most of them are to the T about deadlines. So making sure that you're checking emails, and then also making sure that you get involved. I can't tell you how much it means to get involved at your community college or university. It will make or break your experience of college, and I can stand today and say I have this job because of the involvement that I had, not only at ICC, but when I transitioned to Ole Miss. So definitely get involved and check your emails. And that's all I have for you guys.
Next, we have the Tupelo High School career coaches. They're going to come up and kind of describe a little bit of what they do for our students.
Good evening. Okay, a lot of our seniors have already met with us as career coaches, but I am Erica Golden. I'm one of the career coaches, and this is...
I'm Kelly Johnson. I'm new this year, but I'm really excited to be working with your students.
And what we do for our students, for our seniors, we help students with job shadowing, with paid internships. And one of our paid internships is the Spain internship. It is 100 hours of paid internship, and it's with any entity. It can be in the workforce, it can be in health science, it can be anywhere that this student may be interested in going to school, whatever that career path looks for them. We can also put shadowing in. They can get volunteer hours at the hospital. They can do volunteer hours at the hospital. Where's my paper? Mentorship Academy. This is at the hospital. It is a 6-week program. It is in the spring semester. So if a student graduates in December, they still are eligible to apply for this mentorship at the hospital. 6 weeks of shadowing in every area of the hospital, with physicians, with nurses, with sonography, with any area of the hospital. So make sure your senior, come and see one of us to get all of this information. Also, U-Science was an assessment that they did in 10th grade. That helped that student understand what careers are best fit them. When we use that assessment, that's what they look at to go into any shadowing or any internship that they may want to go in. There are a lot of companies in the workforce that are allowing students to come in, get shadowing hours. Nobody has told us no for any of our Tupelo High students. Nobody in the workforce. We also have a Toyota internship.
I'm going to kind of talk about that. We have partnered with Toyota. We are from the Create Foundation as well, and I know that several other people have mentioned that. Going to kind of touch on what she said about U-Science. It's an assessment that we give our students here at Tupelo High School, and it just surveys their interest and their aptitudes and kind of what they're interested in or what it feels like they're good in, and kind of pairs them with different kinds of jobs or careers that would really stand out for them. Gives them all kinds of information. It tells them what schools would be great for them to go to get those degrees and that kind of stuff. So if your student hasn't taken that, please reach out to us so that we can get that to make sure that we know what's going on with them. But the Toyota, we have the Creating Your Future. It is an internship for seniors that we have a cohort that will start in the fall, and then we also have one that is in the spring. The deadline for applying for the one in the fall is August the 14th. We know that's really soon, and we've really tried to push out to our kids right now, but they will do a 15-week internship with Toyota. They will do a 5-week thing at ICC. And then they will do an orientation at Toyota for 2 weeks, and then do an actual program at Toyota for 8 weeks. They will go from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 o'clock. They get paid for this. They come out with around $10.25 an hour that goes into their pocket. I know that, hey, let's go watch it and let's go see and kind of learn things and get paid for it. And also they're home at a decent time. But it's awesome. They walk them through that, and then they kind of talk to them about the industry. They're going to learn things about blueprint reading, and they get a CPR certification. There's several different, they get a basic manufacturer certification from this program. It's awesome. We've had a lot of success with it. I don't think they had anybody from Tupelo this last year, but we're really trying to push people coming from Tupelo. But also they have another thing called the Advanced Manufacturing Program, the AMT. It is for after graduation. They will enter with Toyota. They will go to the Career and Technical Center and learn a trade for 2 days. And then they will work for 3 days with Toyota or different industries, and they will actually get paid $15 an hour for that. You can use your grants and things to go to ICC for free, and then you turn around and you get paid to go from Toyota. And these students are actually offered jobs as soon as they finish that with Toyota, and a lot of times they start at around $21, $22 an hour. So we have a lot going on with Toyota, and we have a lot of internships that are going on, and we're really excited about it. We just kind of have to know your kids and what they're interested in and get them out there.
I also want to say about the Creating Your Future, the students have to have senior leave after second block. That just allows them time to go get lunch, go get dressed, and be out at Blue Springs by 1 o'clock in their seat. Now, with this internship, they also give them uniforms, they give them boots, they give them everything that they need for the internship. Now, the students that do this internship, they don't have to go to work for Toyota. It's the experience and the certifications that they get that they can use and take somewhere else if they want to. Now, they encourage them to work for Toyota if that's where it's their choice. But they can take those certifications anywhere. They are theirs, and they can use them wherever. So we encourage students, hey, it's an internship, get the experience, it looks well on your resume. Use whatever comes your way. Every resource that we have is free. It looks good on your resume. Stack everything that you can get. Come see us. If we can't make it happen, we know somebody that can. So tell your students to come see us, and we got you.
Okay, our final presenter is Sergeant McKinney from the United States Army National Guard. He's going to talk to you about how you can get college paid for and be all you can be.
All right, so my name is Sergeant Dre McKinney. I like to walk when I talk, so I talk to these kids all the time, so I'm used to moving around. But I am the military representative for, or I try to be, for Tupelo High School. I have a great relationship with our counselors and our faculty and administration, and they typically come to me for any information about any military component. A little bit about myself, I am from Tupelo. I live right here in Belden. I've been in the National Guard for 16 years. And I've been a recruiter for 8. A lot of the information that I have for you guys tonight is a lot of information that most of the kids that graduate from this high school never get to hear. So I know most of your kids aren't planning on going to the military. That's completely fine. Guess what? I wasn't planning on going to the military, right? So getting this information not only just allows them to have different opportunities. One thing I go by, the more information you have, the better informative decisions you can make, right? So I'm just going to provide this information with you guys. Maybe you guys can take it back to them, and hopefully they come talk to me and ask some questions. First things first, can everybody take a picture of my phone number? I would love for you guys to have my number. I am the only National Guard recruiter for this area. So if anybody ever talks to your kids, say, hey, I talked to the National Guard, and they say it's not Sergeant McKinney, they're not talking to the National Guard. All right? I'm going to kind of speed through this. I had an agenda, but I know it's getting late, so I'm going to kind of hit the hot points and go. All right, so there's several military branches. All right, you got your Army, you got your Navy, you got your Air Force, Marines, and we also have Space Force. Now, there's different components for each branch. Typically, you have your active duty branch or your active duty component. Then you have your reserve component. And then also you have your National Guard. When your kid is talking to a recruiter, they need to know who they're talking to, what they're signing up for. Every component is different and has different requirements. Typically, when you go to the active duty, when they sign their contract and they leave out, they are gone for the duration of their contract. So if they talk to a recruiter and they say, hey, I'm going active duty, you know they're probably going to be leaving home. All right? With the reserves, a lot of the other branches, they do have a reserve component. They will be primarily here. They're going to do part-time, once a month, maybe 2 weeks in the summer. Now, their duty station could be out of state. Just depends on what's available with the reserves. They're usually smaller, so typically we don't have a lot here in Mississippi, so if they are in the reserves, they're probably going to be going out of state to do their service. And then last but not least, you do have the National Guard. Every state in U.S. territory has a National Guard. We're both federally and state funded, and we typically have the most job opportunities and better education benefits specifically for our states. All right? So if your kid is thinking about service, wanting to be at home, the National Guard is a great opportunity for them. But make sure they know who they are talking to. That's one of the biggest things, issues that we have. All right. For parents, if your kid is interested in military service, make sure when they go talk to a recruiter, these are my big 3. Make sure you're asking the hard questions. A lot of recruiters aren't as transparent as I am. If your kid is thinking about it, make sure they ask the hard questions. Where will I be? Can I be at home? Can I go to school full time? Now I've been here for a while, I've been recruiting for 8 years in this area. A lot of recruiters will tell a kid they can go to school full-time straight out the gate. All right, that's a half truth. So make sure they're asking those hard questions. All right, if your kid or you and your kids are talking to recruiters, make sure you're taking plenty of notes. And then last but not least, always research and verify every bit of information. This is a digital age. I should have the easiest job. All the information about what I can provide to you guys, everybody can pull out their cell phone and look it up. There should be no reason that your recruiter, your student, or your child should get lied to, right? I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about recruiters. We don't always tell the truth, all right? I tell every kid I talk to, research and verify. You have to be proactive when you're looking to the military service. Pick out your phone, get on Google. Everything that recruiters told you, you should be able to find it on your own. All right? Next, every branch has something to offer. I know we argue with each other. I know some of you probably prior service, maybe served in different branches, and we like to talk about each other all the time. Now, I'm with the National Guard, so I'm pro-Guard. But I still tell every kid, and even Miss Hallie, she'll have a kid talk to me thinking about another branch. That's completely fine. Every branch has something to offer. But do what is best for you, not your recruiter. A lot of people try to sell the recruiter. No, that kid, that's their future. Let them do what they need to do. That's going to better them and get them to that next level. All right, so I try to be the representative and I try to be as fair as possible. If your kid is interested in any other branch outside the National Guard, I did put the contacts for the other branches that's in our area. For the Army and Army Reserves, you got Sergeant Marquardt and Sergeant Holder. That's their contact information. If they got questions, they can take a picture. You can reach out to these guys. Sergeant Dean is for the Marines. They're all located here in Tupelo, right next to Walmart or Sam's Club. And then you also have Tech Sergeant Justin Caldwell. He's the Air Force and Space Force recruiter. So if your kid is interested in any of those, they can reach out there. We do have the Navy. Navy does not have an office here in Tupelo anymore. So the closest recruiter for our area is in Oxford. And that's Petty Officer Rita. You can reach out to her, maybe schedule an appointment. You will have to drive to Oxford to meet with her. But these are your different component recruiters. Now, I'm going to speed through this. Like I said, I am biased. So with me being with the National Guard, one thing we try to do, we want to keep our students and right here in Mississippi. We want them to live here, we want them to serve here, we want them to get all the benefits that they can, and then keep them in Mississippi so they can make the state a little bit better. So one thing we try to do is devise a plan. Hey, what are they planning on doing? Are you going to go to college? Are you going to go to work? Or are you just thinking about military service? She mentioned the 3 E's: employment, enrollment, enlistment. With the National Guard, you can do all 3. You can go to school full-time, you can get a great job skill, and you can also get enlistment and military service right here with the National Guard. So plan after high school. If your kid is interested, not really sure what they want to do, they can come to me. I typically do a 5 to 10 year plan, try to figure out what they want to do, and I can show you how the National Guard can help them get to where they want to be. But when it comes to college, which most people in here tonight, I think that was the high point that we were talking about. We all know that money is a factor, right? Mom and daddies are paying for it. We're trying to get all these scholarships to kind of help us. I'm a parent. They're not at that level yet, but mine is already talking about college, and I'm like, man, you're going to join the National Guard. So, all right. So money is a factor. The National Guard can help you guys with that. And I know when you're thinking about military service, there's a big stigma, and we're scared as an adult, we're scared as parents, and we're also scared as kids. But there's a lot of safety and a lot of support there, and the National Guard can help you with that. When it comes to enlistment, you got your service to your country, you have your education assistance, military training. With the National Guard, we have a Work for Warriors program that helps our service members get jobs based off their military training and also their civilian training. So even if they serve for a year, 3 years, or some of you may have served and retired, we have these programs available to help our soldiers. You also have health insurance, VA home loans, things we're probably not thinking about as high school kids. But 10 years from now, those things are going to be a major factor. Where we can go to college. We talk to ICC and our community colleges. We also have our senior universities right here in Mississippi. Ole Miss, Hotty Toddy, and then you got that other school, Mississippi State. All right, so we already seen I guess it was my guy with the college. College is very, very, very expensive. Now, I know he said student loans is just one of those that we got to take up. You do not have to take out student loans. My goal is to have every kid go to school and graduate debt-free. I do not want your student going to college, graduating with $30,000, $50,000, $60,000 of student loan, and then it takes them 30, 40 years to pay it off. That is the worst case scenario. We do not want that to happen. All right? Some of us got student loans in here. And we can do the math and we realize, man, I'm paying $500, $600 a month, and I graduated 20 years ago, and we're still paying student loans. If you do not have that financial stability for your kid to go to college, look into military options. It is a great opportunity. We have a twofold mission with the Mississippi National Guard. First is to the state of Mississippi, and then secondly, we also have a federal mission. We do natural disasters. I know some of you have seen the tornado at Amory. We come in with that, but we live here and we serve here. Now, we do go overseas, so one of those hard questions a lot of parents ask me, Sergeant McKinney, will my kid get deployed? Very transparent. Guess what? I don't know, because that's outside my pay grade. But I will tell every parent in here, when your kid puts on a uniform, whether it's with the Army, Navy, Marine, Space Force, there's always a chance that they could get deployed. And when you hear deployment, do not think of just combat related. We do a lot of support stuff. We go to Germany, Japan, and we have good times and things like that. Everything isn't combat related. But anytime they put on that uniform, it's always a chance that they could get deployed. All right? So, why the Mississippi Army National Guard? We're the best kept secret of the Army. All right? You live here, you serve here, you can get part-time service with full-time benefits. Paid training, paid technical skills and certifications. You also get to pursue your civilian career and education while still serving part-time right here at home. For your high school seniors, they can actually your juniors, you can actually start serving in the National Guard right now while you're in high school. Go ahead and start getting paid, start getting training, and setting yourself up for that next step after high school, whether it's college, employment, or just being in the military. All right, we all love money, right? These kids, they're going to start looking at these scholarships, realizing how much money they're going to need to pay for their college. First thing first, when it comes to the National Guard, we have more benefits than any branch. We get both federal and state funding. With our state funding, the state of Mississippi will give your child an additional $10,000 a year as a general scholarship to any major university in the state of Mississippi. An extra 10 grand a year. And the only thing they have to do is serve 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer. FTA, every service member gets that. That's 4 grand a year that Uncle Sam pays towards the university, towards your tuition. Also, they can get the GI Bill. That's an additional $466 a month that goes directly to their pocket. Hopefully, they have a part-time job. When you go to school full-time, that kind of alleviates some of that time they have to be at work. You got a little bit of extra money in your pocket. Now, we talked about the importance of the ACT. Typically, the higher you score, the more money you get, right? Same thing applies to us with the ASVAB. The higher you score on the ASVAB, the more benefits you get. And our magic number is a 50. So if your student has not taken the ASVAB, give it every year. We have a testing site here in Tupelo now that we give it every Thursday. Every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. If they want to take the ASVAB, I can schedule to take the ASVAB. If they score 50 or above, they'll also qualify for the GI Bill kicker. That's an additional $350 every month that they're in school. And the only thing they did to receive that $350 a month is score 50 or above on that ASVAB. Nothing else. No additional contract, nothing at all. And then plus, They're in the National Guard, so they're already working while they're in high school. They're going to get paid for drill while they're in high school. Make about $200 for a Saturday and Sunday. So your kid is not going to get rich, not going to become millionaires by serving. But what they can do, they can alleviate some of that stress off of you, off themselves, have their college education paid for, also getting job skills and setting themselves up for that next step. All right? One of the best benefits about the National Guard that a lot of people don't know about is our last tag, General Jansen Bulls, he did so much for this state. He went to every major university in the state and got a partnership program where if you are a service member in the Mississippi Army National Guard, we have a tuition exemption program available to all soldiers. If we cannot cover your soldiers' tuition and fees, that university will waive it. That's Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Jackson State, Southern Miss. So even though college can be expensive, if we can't cover it all, we have programs to help mitigate that. That way, they're still not coming out of pocket trying to pay for school. So that is a great benefit that you guys can talk to your kids about. And the last is RTC scholarships. Now, I'm not an expert on RTC scholarships. I have the OCR for Ole Miss. He's one of the recruiters on my team. And then one of my good friends, he's the OCR at Mississippi State. If you have a child that's interested in seeing our scholarships, we have full scholarships available to your kids. They do not actually have to enlist to apply for these scholarships. They can actually get the scholarship prior to making that commitment to serve. So if your kid is interested in any of those scholarships, whether it's the Minuteman Scholarship or S&P program, they can reach out to myself. I will get them in direct contact with the Ole Miss, Jackson State, whatever university that your kid has. Also, even if they're going out of state, I have a large network, so if they're going somewhere out of state, I can get them in contact with the university OCR. All right. All right, so we spent a lot of time talking about college. A lot of kids are going to graduate who has no aspiration to go into college, and that is completely fine. If they're looking for a job or career, we have most of our jobs that we offer have their civilian certification. Well, they get their civilian certifications once they finish our training. Our Mississippi Work for Warriors program, when they get back home, they help these soldiers get jobs. We have over 1,500 industry partners. They will set up your interview. They will help go over your resume. They'll also assist you with your interview. So this is a large resource that the state of Mississippi buys into to help our service member that's available to your student as soon as they enlist. So they don't even have to go to training. So if you got a high school student who's already made a commitment to serve in the National Guard, they can call me and I will get them in contact with them now and they can go ahead and start getting a job lined up or actually start a job right now while they're in high school. All right, so the qualifications for service, and this will differ in some aspects for different branches. 17, at least 17 years of age and at least a junior in high school. All right. We do have height and weight requirements. I typically talk one-on-one with people like that. Law violations, same thing. Tattoos, I know a lot of kids got tattoos now. The main thing is take the ASVAB. All right? If your kid is struggling, they haven't taken the ACT, the ASVAB is a good prep for the ACT. So if they wanted to see how they do, and they don't want to keep paying to take the ACT, tell them to come to my office, I'll get an ASVAB 3 or 4 times. It don't cost me anything. It can help them improve that score on that ACT. But for us, they take the ASVAB, 31 is the minimum score. Now, we do have some new programs that the Army has started. We have a future soldier program, so if your kid is not academically inclined, but they can at least score 21, guess what? We can still get them in the service. We have a tutoring program. Somebody will teach them how to take that test, pass it, and then they can get better opportunities. Now, each branch, that score will change, but for us, it's at least a 31. All right, so that's all I got. I know you guys probably got questions, so I gave out a folder when you guys came in. If you did not get one, that's okay. But if you did, if If you saw anything in this presentation that you guys are interested in, you can fill out that piece of paper on your right with your name, number. I'll be glad to talk to you. On the left, there's a lot of information that I didn't cover. You hold on to that. You go home, talk to your student, keep it in there. If you ain't interested today, I'll see you in May. You can call me in May. I keep my phone on me 24/7. If you call me at 11 o'clock, my wife's gonna get mad. She might test me out. And I will call you the next day. All right? So feel free to reach out to me anytime. If you talk to any other recruiter and you don't trust what they said, come talk to me. I will verify. I'll even go sit over there with you. Last name is Dr. Thomas. We do have a National Guard Expo planned for the second week of November. It will be at our aviation facility right here in Tupelo. We will have just about every different job opportunity that the National Guard has to offer. And we will have personnel there to talk, go over, demonstrate everything that they can do with the National Guard. So hopefully, I hear from you guys. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.